maybe got knocked out in the second round, I probably would say that had been a step forward and a successful season. When you are as close as you are and feel as close as you were in the series, I mean, every game was with one goal. And we had a lot of people out. I mean, we had a lot of Milwaukee influence through the playoffs here, and they did a great job. And I said to them, I don't feel that way now, the way I probably would have felt in September, because the hurt is deep. And I just said, don't forget this feeling, because that's what's gonna drive you to the next level. And the first round is really mentally tough, because it's the first time that you've got to really extend yourself to that next level. And in the second round, you're ready for it, and it's a battle, and you grow from it, and it makes you a better player, it makes you a better person, it makes you a harder team, it makes you battle ready. And we made a lot of steps forward. I mean, everything that people said that we couldn't do, we did this year. We just ran into a very good opponent and a good hockey team, and then they showed why they were, the top defensive team in the league this year. They're very close to the very top, and we shut down a pretty dynamic offense in this series. And that's one thing that everybody was saying we couldn't score, but they couldn't score either a whole lot, much more than us. And it was real close. You get a break here or there, or you get another secondary hero for us. We could be going to Game 7. We could be on the positive side, but there's a lot of guys that were really banged up for us, and they fought through it. So this was a very special group. I mean, there's not too many times. I've been coaching a long time. There's not too many times I can say this group had a great intangible. This group, if we were to beat the Vancouver Canucks, it wouldn't have surprised me one bit, because they had a lot of intangibles, and they were a group that you can be proud of. I mean, as a coach, they came and worked. They had a great team unity, and they found ways to get it done. And they didn't want any excuses of guys out. And the what ifs. What if we had a full roster with the Gotches and the Lombardis and the O'Reillys and the Frankie Bouillon and all that? It didn't matter. We'll never know that. That's for another day. But the guys that were there were natural predators, and they grew a lot. Well, I said to the press earlier today, that's sort of a trade-off sometimes. They didn't get much production of the Sedins. They were concentrating on shutting down our guys. We were concentrating on shutting down their guys. We just had trouble shutting down one extra guy. But for the most part, I think we felt that we could play with them, we could compete with them, and I can tell you, I've been here a long time, and each playoff series is a different animal, and there's some teams that weren't playoff made for the playoffs. We weren't. We were a good regular season team, and we didn't know what the next level was. This team was more playoff put together, and it starts with our leadership group. They're hard. They lead by example, and they're winners. And you add a Mike Fisher, and then you got all these young guys who played. Tell me, you had John Blum, who played 20 games for us. He's playing against Ryan Kessler, who maybe had one of the most incredible 6 games that you'll ever see, and he's playing head-to-head with them. That's pretty good growth. So I think there's a lot of positives. I mean, we did a lot of things that, we were reading, your back's against the wall, you can't do this, you can't win a series, you can't do this. We did a lot of good things, but it doesn't feel like we accomplished a lot, because the pain of losing the series hurts. But I think what you see is the change in expectation within our room, which is, to me, is growth. And because we had a lot of guys that are finding out how to win and how hard it is on a regular basis. So I'm really proud of the group. Yeah. Give me some time to reflect on that. There will be some. I mean, how we handled a bad situation last year in Chicago. We went through the same situation in Anaheim, and so there's growth. When we look back at this series, I mean, I thought the series would probably be won on special teams. They had a dynamite power play. We did a pretty good job for the most part, shutting them down, but we weren't able to match them on the front end of the power play. I mean, but it really didn't end up being the difference. It ended up maybe momentum-wise, it was a little bit of difference in certain games, but it really wasn't a difference. It was a chance here or there. It was real close for the group. Yeah, I did, because I saw the passion and the excitement in year one, and how they really embraced the group. I mean, year one, we didn't have much of a team. We probably looked at every lineup every night and going, how are we going to win this game? And we won 28 games, and I think they were a lovable group. But they said, the Tom Fitzgeralds of the world sort of set a standard for a compete level that we needed to be at. We've had a lot of different things that have affected where we could go forward, backwards, what have you. But it's all stabilized. I think the people in Nashville, it's a really great city, and I think they can recognize that hockey is a fun sport. They can recognize that the type of players and people that we have in our organization, and they can recognize a group that comes to work every day, and they really appreciate that. And they're like anybody else. They just want to win now, and I think we're, as an organization, that's our mandate, is just win. I mean, we've gotten the playoffs, and that starts the winning process. You've got to get there before you can win the cup, and we've been there. And we're learning some hard lessons, but we're learning some great lessons. And you look at our team, we might be the youngest team in the playoffs by far, with the number of young guys that we have in our lineup. So, we're going to make some great strides as an organization. Our team in Milwaukee's in the 7th game and in the second round. We'll probably get a whole whack of guys from this game to their game tomorrow. So, our organization is about winning. Can have those teams be in the playoffs every year, and that seems to be what we've done. We're creating a good environment for winning, but we've got a long way to go. I mean, we talk about making this long-winded, but this is Vancouver's 40th year. They haven't won a cup yet.
There we go, head coach Barry Trotz. He is the Energizer Bunny at the podium. You just cannot stop him. And he speaks the truth about his team in the AHL going to 7 games. We should mention the Manitoba Moose. They're in Game 7 right now with the Hamilton Bulldogs. They're going to triple overtime of Game 7. The Manitoba Moose and the Hamilton Bulldogs. So we'll keep you apprised of what's going on there. In the meantime, we'll continue to debrief this series, these playoffs.